Hello, good morning. This is teacher Jacob, and this video is for 8th grade. Today we're going to study reading class, and remember it's mandatory to write here on your book on the page 63. Write the date. Today is June 26th, 2020, and then you need to write. And the topic is reading comprehension, reading understanding. But before this, I need is you understand that in this moment, it's mandatory that all, especially you know around 20 questions. So in this moment, you are able to say 20 questions. What questions? Any kind of questions. So you can say very personal questions. You can ask questions about some specific topic. For example, in your case, so I mean, in this moment, you can say questions like, what's your name? Where are you from? What time is it? What do you do? How are you? What time do you get up? What kind of music do you like? What is your mother's name? And what is your father's name? What's your favorite color? And how long you take for being somewhere? And have you been somewhere? And so on. You know, you need to talk. You need to say questions. 20. Mandatory to say 20 questions. So keep in mind, I can say 20 questions. What kind of questions? Any question. All right, so 1, 2. It's mandatory that you talk for 2 minutes about one specific topic. In your case, for example, you're gonna talk two topics. You're gonna talk about first. You're gonna talk about food. You know, you need to tell me about your favorite food, your favorite dish for 1 minute. Even though you can say how to cook, how to prepare a recipe. Okay, so you can do it. So you can talk for 1 minute. And the second minute, of course, it is about a wonder in Colombia or around the world. A tourist place in Colombia or a tourist place around the world. So 2 minutes talking about 2 topics. One about the wonder around the world or tourist place around the world or in Colombia, and the second it's about food, about a recipe, about food. What's your favorite dish? How do you prepare the dish, and so on. Yes, is that what you need to talk about? Is the project you to talk for 2 minutes about food, favorite food, and about tourist place in Colombia or tourist place around the world. 6 sides, you know, is for, you know, for speaking 2 minutes. And after that, what else can I tell you this? Just nothing else. Just keep in mind you need to talk for 2 minutes. And don't forget something. I'm sorry, teacher, I can't pronounce. Don't worry. What you need to do is to review, to go back, to watch the last videos, watch pronunciation videos, watch speaking videos, and then you can improve speaking questions, and then you can repeat. Because the idea is to talk, to speak, and what else? Nothing else. All right. Now, let's go to the reading. This is page that you need to complete, page 63. So look at the pictures and mark similar places that you have visited in your or another country. So look at these pictures and you can say this picture is a little similar to Bogota City, for example. You can find it in where? I think so. 26th Street Avenue. Okay, perhaps. All right. So according to these pictures, you're gone. In your case, or it's possible. So your case, you know any museum in Bogota? Had you been there? So you say tick, yes or not. A castle in Colombia. Do you think that are there castles in Colombia? Are there castles in Colombia? Yes, I think so. I think you can look at one of them. Monuments in Bogota. There are plenty of monuments here. Theaters. What about theaters? Have you been in a theater in Bogota where you watch films, or even you can see plays? A play. An ancient rain. I don't know. Oh, here we have. Of course, we have. Do you know one of them? So you tell me. And look at your classmate. Perhaps you don't have a classmate near to you, but you can ask any member of your family, your mother, your father, your sister. Even you can call one of your friends and say, "Hey, do you have you visited a place like this, like that?" So and you can tick yes or not. Positive tick, negative ask. All right, good. So let's go number three. Two. I'm sorry, two. Work in groups of three, and your classmate with, let's say they have visited complete. Okay. Well, we're not gonna do this because we don't have classmates around us so that we can sit and talk about it. So let's complete number three. Complete the conversation between two tourists in the UK with yet or already. Remember, yet is possible to write at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. And yet, already, it's like an adverb. So you have to write after have or has. So she has, and then you write already. All right? Good. So number one, have you visited any museums? And notice that in that case, you need to write yet or already. So in this case, it's yet because it's at the end of the phrase. Okay? That's why you need to take care and be careful with that. And second, yes, I have, I've, and then you write I've, and after I've, you have to say already, already visited the British Museum. All right, good. So you're gonna complete this, and that's all. You complete. Three. Let's go to four. Complete the block and entry with the correct form of the verse. And four says. Remember, says is necessary. Since it's necessary to write the date. I study English since, and then you write the date 2005, for example, or 2005. So between the year you started to study, all right? So this you need to keep in mind that. And four is not necessary to write the date, the numbers, not necessary, okay? I studied English for 3 years, and you don't write a specific the number of the year. I mean, 2000 or 1994, something like that. Okay. So that's another exercise that you can do it. So you need to write or for or since. All right, since. Good. So let's go for this part. Let's talk about Mars secrets discovered in Pompeii. Pompeii is a ruin here in Greece. So I don't know. I mean, if you tell me about this monument, I don't know. I mean, I don't have enough information to telling you. So that's what we're gonna read in this part, and we're gonna learn something about it. So Mars secrets. So listen and read mentally. So Mars secrets discovered in Pompeii. Pompeii was an important Roman city. Oh, look. Then, 2,000 years ago, a volcano erupted and covered Pompeii in volcanic ash, and the city disappeared. In 1748, a Spanish engineer found some ruins. Since then, and archaeologists have uncovered a whole city. They have just discovered some beautiful plates and cups. So far, they have used special techniques to separate 20 different pieces. Experts say this discovery helps us to understand life in Rome's times. Discuss the importance of conservation and discovery. So we can talk about any ruin in Colombia or any special place that the moment is in ruin. I mean, the time is passing, and because of the government could be, or because it's not excellent for tourist people, they getting destroyed because of the weather, because of the people. And so we need to talk about one of them. So the question one is, do you know one, or do you know any place in Colombia who are ruined? I mean, at the moment are ruined. Do you know any in Colombia? Tell me, which one? How can our country repair the ruins? How can our country repair the structure, or perhaps we can repair people, Indian people, for example, in Colombia? It happens. So we need to find out some information about some places in Colombia. What I know here in Colombia, for example, when I was young, I remember that it called Tunja Rocks, and it was fantastic, and it has a sense, it has a story. Do you know anything about Tunja Rocks? Las Piedras de Tunja, do you know anything? Do you have any information about that? If you have that information, you need to talk about that. So remember, the next project that you need to do is to talk about a specific place that you like it, that you want to visit around the world or in Colombia, you need to tell me and give me more information about that because it's tell me about that. Okay? So teacher Jacob, bye bye, see you next class.